Hello and welcome to Soul Infused Monday today. I'm happy that you're here, and I want to announce something before I forget, because next Monday, August 26th, I think, today's 19th, yeah, August 26th, next Monday, there will be no live show. Yeah, I know it's sad, it's a bummer, and it's very unusual. However, because I'm traveling and I'm actually moving as well at the end of the month, and I've decided to skip a week. So, but what I would recommend you to do is to just schedule another show in for Monday. Watch one of my replays, catch up on something. And I wanted to let you know that next Monday, there will be no live show. However, the following week, then I'm going to continue the last theme of this topic for this month about conscious words, language, mindfulness about the words and language we use. And it's going to be about how to ask for what you want so that you can actually get it. Super, super, super great topic. I'm already super excited about it. Okay, so having said that, and I might repeat it a few times because I know people always come in a little bit later or it's just jumping in. If you're here live right now, leave a comment below so I know you're here. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment below so that I know you're here. And today the topic is, are you really sorry? And about the words sorry. And this topic can easily be misinterpreted if you don't watch it in the whole context. So for anyone that watches it, make sure you watch the whole thing from the beginning to the end so that you can make your own real, authentic opinion around it. As often we just take pieces and bits from something and we assume something and make a story out of it. That's often not even the case. Okay, so who's here? Emily, so it's okay. Okay. Tina, hello. Alyssa, hello. Okay, great. Jolene is here. Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. So I've sent out an email last week to my community announcing this topic. And I also invited them to check in over the weekend to just be aware. It's about awareness here. It's not about judgment or blame. It's about awareness, so that you can come from a conscious place versus just talking and doing things out of autopilot, automatism, unconscious patterning, right? So, and I don't know if any of you who are here watching this right now got my email and actually took me up on this invitation to observe yourself mindfully and consciously how often we say, I'm sorry. For random stuff. Don't even, it's not about what and how, but how often do you say, I'm sorry? And I would be curious if you're courageous enough to share it here with us. And if not, I totally get it. Sometimes it's not easy to admit something that we found out about ourselves. I know about it because I'm very transparent, right? So who in here is aware, because maybe you're not even aware of it, that you use I'm sorry a lot, and often just without even thinking about it, just for random stuff? I'm just curious. Let me know. Alyssa is saying way too much. Yeah, thank you, Alyssa, for your honesty. I love it. Happy Monday, Dolene, to you too. Hi, Pamela. Great to have you here. Pamela says 5 a day. That's very specific. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And then also the good thing about it is, like, once we start to be aware of it, it's still amazing how many times we say it without being aware of it, because that's the whole thing. As long as you're not aware of it, so if you're not aware of it, you won't remember, right? So let's talk about this and why this is important for me to share. And it does actually apply more to women in my own personal experience. However, it does also apply to men. Just, you know, like the percentage of what I see that women do that way more is much, much higher than in men. But let me see who else. Who else says too much? Tina says too much. Yeah. How often do you say I'm sorry? And do you think it's just often not even real? We just say it out of, because it's just a habit, right? So Dolene is saying too often, though I know now I catch myself, yeah, because you're doing great, Darlene, you have a great coach. I find it interesting how many other people do as a matter of habit. Yeah, you know, here's the great thing, and thank you for sharing that, Darlene. When you are aware of yourself and you are aware of what you are doing and you are more mindful about it, then you also realize the world around you is just like you, and that we are all in this big dream of unconsciousness. We were just doing stuff because we're programmed and we are not even thinking about it, right? So it's really about becoming aware so that you are more conscious, and then you have come from a place of choice, right? Does it make sense? Emily is saying, I notice when other people do it, when they have nothing to apologize about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, good. So I remember a couple of years ago, I mean, it's quite a few years ago, but when I started more looking consciously about words and the energy of words and using that language, and I was traveling in the US, in the United States, and it was particularly obvious there. And I remember a moment, it's funny how I remember sometimes particular moments. It was as in a drugstore, I mean, maybe a Walgreens, or I don't know, some sort. There are so many places there that I don't remember. But I was in an aisle and I was looking for shampoo or something. I don't remember, doesn't even matter. So the aisle was big enough for obviously more than one person. And within the time that I was in that shop, I realized how many, mostly women, passed by for some reason and were saying, I'm sorry. And I was turning around, like, what are you sorry about? Like, they were sorry that they wanted to be in the same aisle. They were, and I know it's even like, oh yeah, they just wanted to be polite. There's a huge difference being polite and respectful. And I'll get into that. But I remember, and it was not a judgment in a say, oh my God, they're all of them sorry, because I was the same, by the way. I was absolutely 100% the same. I come from a background of being the biggest pleaser in the world, constantly being sorry for being even in existence. So there is no judgment from my side, but I also know what a difference it can make when you are authentically yourself versus being apologetic all the time about you, right? So I was hearing a lot, oh, I'm sorry. And it's not only the words, it's the energy. It was literally, it's like, oh, I'm sorry that I want to pass by you, you know, or I'm sorry, I want to look at something like that. That energy of it, I was like realizing, wow, that's what I used to do. And how many do that day in, day out for random things, and how shocking that is. And again, it does not only apply to women, and I see men as well. However, it is just more women. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We are so conditioned to be nice, to please, and with also, for many of us, growing up with a lack of self-worth, with an insecurity, it's that habit of saying, I'm sorry, often feels like, oh my God, I'm sorry that I'm even in the same room with you. I'm sorry that and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but from an energetic perspective, that's exactly what happens. So just be aware, because there's a difference between you being polite or maybe respectful. I don't like the word polite very much. I rather use the word, you know, mindful, respectful, because that comes from a conscious place. Being polite is a little bit, for me, it might not be for you, but that's why I explain it, so that there's no misconception. Polite comes a little bit, oh, you should be, from a standard that comes from a collective, how you should be. Hope this makes sense. And let me know if this list is landing here for you, by the way. I do it less than I used to, for sure. Yeah, of course, Emily, you're doing much, much better. And okay, so when on an aisle and you want to be respectful, or you want to pass by, and you know, like you can say that different versions, obviously, pardon me or excuse me, and some of you might think, oh yeah, that's not such a big difference. What's the big deal? it is a big deal because it's unconscious and comes from a programming. If I go somewhere and I'm in the way and it's like, oh, excuse me, I would like to go, but I don't want to hurt that person, or I don't just want to bump into that person. But if I say, I'm sorry, it's like, I'm sorry. I'll take that energy in. Oh, I'm doing something wrong many times, right? So in that sense, if you're aware that you might want to do something and someone is in your same way, then say, hey, excuse me, just make yourself, you make yourself visible, or you tell what it is without you feeling sorry for it. Because here's the thing, we are not sorry. I would say, and I'm coming up, this is no scientific here. I don't have a statistic with all the numbers, right? I just say this as I feel it. I would say 80% of our I'm sorry is not really, we are never really sorry. And that's the next critical point. When you are just saying sorry all the time, randomly, out of habit, when you are truly sorry, it often has no value anymore, no depth. And I know people who say sorry all the time. Oh, sorry for this. Oh, sorry for that. Oh, sorry for this. And then they make a mistake that is really hurtful. And then I would like to hear a sorry, but it has it hasn't any depth, no meaning anymore, because it's just a random word, I'm sorry. Yeah. Does that make sense? Let me know if you resonate with that. Is this landing? Do you say yes, or do you say no? You don't have to agree with me, by the way. I'm just putting it out there, food for thought, so that you can check in. Okay, when I'm saying I'm sorry, am I really sorry? Did I do something that might have hurt someone? Did I do something that I really feel genuinely sorry because that wasn't a good thing and I want to take responsibility for? Or is it just an automatism like, oh, I'm sorry, because we don't even think about it? So let me know, guys. Darlene is saying, I try to use excuse me or pardon me, perfect, in a situation like you're describing. Great comment about the USA and our use of sorry. It is very true. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. I love it, Darlene. Excuse me, pardon me. And about the USA, by the way, I love traveling in the US. So, and there's so many good things, even though there's a lot of not so good things about it either, but energy follows attention, right? So even though I point that out because it's just very obvious, on the other hand, I see also really so many good things, and I love being in the US if I get to travel there, and I love Americans. So having said that, does not mean I love all of them, and I don't agree with everything that's going on there, by far no, but I choose to focus on the things that I think are actually going well there. So just, I'm not going to go into any deeper of that. Ashley saying, I'm a lot better about catching myself now. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Oh my God, Ashley, I gotta use you for my clients. Like, it makes such a difference. I remember when I got to know Ashley, she was saying sorry about everything, like constantly, like it, and I reminded her all the time about it, and it made such a difference for the both of us, right? Because we work together, and for me, because I'm so mindful, and also for her, because especially when we are, anyway, it doesn't matter if you're a mother, if you're a business owner, if you're a spouse, if you're a husband, if you are a daughter, it doesn't matter. Just as a human behavior, you want to be mindful and you want to be aware of the words that you're using that are coming out of your mouth. And it's not about perfection, right? It's not about, well, I'm not 24/7 always mindful and conscious and I have it all together all the time. I don't have it all together all the time. And I am not 24/7 always the most conscious and most connected and most spiritual person in the world. I'm just a human being as you are too. And I am maybe more mindful because I use this as a constant to grow and learn, right? But it makes such a difference. And people take you more seriously as well. So the question might be, okay, why should I be more aware of that? First of all, you got to do the deeper inner work. If you feel yourself like you always feel guilty, or you feel always like you're a disturbance, or you're always insecure, Only the words I'm sorry won't change that. So you want to do the deeper inner work. However, you being aware of the words you're using will make a difference. And if someone says I'm sorry all the time to you, you don't really take them very serious, because it's not authentic. Good example, the other way around with men. It's not too long ago, I had a date in Miami. And so I went out with this guy, super nice guy. And so we spent some time together. And one thing I noticed, though, he was a little bit on the pleasing end, what can be nice, but if it's out of balance, it's actually not attractive. So as a woman that is very aware of energy, obviously, and consciousness and maturity and all of that, it's like, he was saying sorry a lot of the things for things that has nothing to do with him. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, my tea was too hot. And she says, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, what are you sorry about if my tea is too hot? It was like, but I just noticed that it is not an attractive trait if it's not authentic. Does that make sense? So, and the other way around might be too. So if you are a man, I would be curious to hear if a woman constantly says, oh, I'm sorry, if that's actually something that you would feel attracted to or not. So just to make an example. And a very, it has nothing, we had a good time, nice, and he actually asked me for feedback later. We talked about it. It was really interesting. It's a very, very nice conversation. And even though nothing romantic is coming out of this, we are creating a friendship. So it's good. And at the same time, a testimony of how words and our way of being create connection or not. Okay. All right. If you have any questions about this, now is your moment. I am here for a few more minutes. I'm not going to be here next week, Monday, live, in case you're jumping in late here. Next August the 26th, we skip Soul Infused Monday because I'm traveling, I'm moving, and I've decided to, for once, to skip it, that I've not done before. So I know it's super sad. I hope you're gonna miss me, but I'll send you some replays so that you can catch up, and you still wanna use the Soul Infused Monday to start your Monday of right? Just not with me live. Okay. Hi Norma. Ashley is saying it's landing, awesome. Dolene, yes, it's landing. Often I'm not sorry, and it is more of a snide comment. Yeah, yeah, great awareness. Yeah, absolutely not. I just feel like I don't want to invade on people's space. I'm not so sure, what I said, but we are to apologize all the time in the US. Yes, so true, Alyssa. Yeah, it's part of really programming people. It's just, and it's not going against something. It's for you to be aware so that you take responsibility, so that you are free to be yourself, and you're not just a puppet and an like a programmed thing to say. And we are all programmed, by the way, including myself. So that's okay. That's a given. And it's just for you to, okay, how much level of freedom do you want? And level of freedom doesn't mean you go against something. It's like you turn it around and you feel what's actually real, and how do I want to be, and how do I want to speak, and what is it that I want to create versus against something. Does that make sense? It's very important for me to convey that. We love you too. Thank you, Emily. I love you. I say it to my husband and he says, stop saying that. Yes, Pamela, thank you for sharing that. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many men are really annoyed about this, and I get it, because it can be really, really annoying. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, I'm sorry. See the energy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it's like kind of like, ooh, that's so not attractive. It's not empowering. And obviously you don't want to go to the other side, like, hey, fuck, I don't give a shit anymore, right? There's a totally different extreme. You want to be honest, you want to be aware, you want to be mindful, you want to be respectful, but you also want to be straight. If you're not sorry, don't say you are sorry. And if you are truly sorry, say that you're sorry, so that you can open up again a conversation. Okay. It certainly does. Any questions? No questions. Did you find a lovely place? Yes, Alisa, thank you. It's actually very close by. It's going to be very similar to here. I appreciate you asking. Any question? Let me see. You asked if we are really sorry, and I said no. Okay, got it. I say it when I think, got it. Yes, makes total sense. Yes, grabbing the napkin, coughing by. Yes, I love it. Hi, Gail. Hi. Sonia, I'm definitely better at this than I used to be. Great to connect this week. Yeah, so happy that you're here, Gail. Stay connected. Come back every Monday. Even when I'm not live, just watch the replay because next Monday I'm not live. Don't use that as an as an excuse though next Monday to not be mindful on a Monday and to start your soul infused week with a soul infused Monday show, because I'm gonna there's always one that you haven't watched yet. I'm 100% sure. Okay, good. So I don't see that there are any other questions. So I invite you to really be more mindful, to tune in. And I invite you one other thing though, it's so easy. Once we are aware of things and we see other people do it, we easily judge it, or we want to call them out, like mind your own business first. I'm just talking out of experience, right? Mind your own business first. Take responsibility for yourself, observe yourself, and also remember that for the few times that you catch yourself saying, I'm sorry, there are plenty more that you didn't even notice. And that's okay. One, every time you notice, and it will take some time to transition. Again, it takes time to implement things. This is not going to happen overnight. These conditionings has been going on for decades, for generations. So you're so used to say it all the time that don't expect yourself to overnight being perfect and then you judge yourself for it or you get annoyed by it. Let it be playful. Enjoy the process of recognizing, of discovering. How often do you say it? And when you say it, do you really mean it? And or can I say something instead? And which energy would I rather convey that, oh, I'm sorry for being in existence, actually. And often that's the energy. That's what's me as well. It's like, oh my God, I'm such a piece of nothing. I was worthless. I felt horrible. I was ashamed. So even if someone was looking at me, I was like, oh my God, right? So that's the energy we convey. Who do you want to be? What do you want to create? And let it be playful. Let yourself enjoy the process. And just know that at this moment, by the way, there's so much going on. So it's like, it's a lot of movement, rupture, old stuff coming up. So just know that we are all in this together as a collective, and we can make a difference. Remember, energy follows attention, and what you focus on, you will get more of. So be very mindful of what you are aware of this week. Play with I'm sorry or I'm not sorry, and keep me posted. And come back, I don't know, is that September 2nd? I don't know right now. Yeah, with the topic, how to say or how to ask for what you want so you can actually get it. Super, 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 super great topic. You want to be here. It's going to be live. And show up next Monday anyway, because you can watch another show, any other show that you haven't watched that. Okay, good. So before you leave, 1 second, stop, don't go anywhere yet. Take a breath. Take a deep breath right now, right here. Drop into your body. Take a moment of mindfulness, of presence, and tune in. What is the most valuable thing you're hearing today? What's the most valuable thing you're getting out of this show right here, right now? And put it in the comment section right now. Take a moment. Take a moment, tune in. What's one super valuable thing you're getting out of this? And share with us. Share with me, to anchor it for yourself, to share it with others, and as feedback is for me. Pamela saying, yeah, it is actually annoying. Yeah, it is. Hi, Gail. Too much pleasing isn't attractive. No, not at all. Both ways, by men and women. So not attractive. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stay here for another minute. Please leave a comment below on what's a takeaway from today or the most valuable thing you're getting out of this show. I'm going to stay for 1 or 2, or let's say 1 more minute live. I know it always takes a little bit. And I really encourage you to leave the comment because it will anchor for you. You're contributing to the community, and it's also great feedback for me. And Tina is saying, yeah. So yeah, Alisa was saying too much pleasing isn't attractive. Tina is saying only say sorry when you really are sorry. Yes. Oh my God, that's made. Yeah, perfect. These two things are great takeaways. Any other takeaways? 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. Did you realize that I didn't say I'm sorry that I'm not live next Monday? I'm just making a point, right? Because I will miss you, and yet I'm not sorry because it was a conscious choice I'm making due to my life circumstances in the moment. Most valuable thing, mind your own business first. Emily, I love you. I love that takeaway. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, mind your first business. Yeah, mind your own business first. I love it. Gail is saying that it's not attractive either. Yeah, great takeaway. I love you guys. You are awesome. Happy to realize I do not say sorry as much as I did a year ago. Oh my God, yeah, you changed. You grew so much, Darlene. That's just nothing compared. Pamela is saying, my husband gets so annoyed by the weakness it conveys. Yeah, so, yeah, I got something out of this today, so just stop doing it. He's going to be so happy about it. I will miss you. Yeah, Tina will miss you too. So come back then the following week. I'm jumping off. Have a fantastic week. And be back in 2 weeks' time live with how to ask for what you want so you can actually get it. Super important. And for the next 2 weeks, practice not saying I'm sorry so much, reversing it, tweaking it, exchanging it, and to feel more powerful, more conscious, more mindful. Because that's what the world needs. Okay, much love and have a fantastic rest of your day.